Romance anime is kinda like a pizza. It's good to consume every once in a while, but too much of it can make you feel fat, lonely, and depressed. Just me? Sometimes you crave it plain with no flavors besides the cheese, but sometimes you wish it had some extra toppings. You know, maybe something that would really spice it up.
Stop it, man, you're grossing me out.
You'll be fine. I brought some protection.
Alright. That might be taking it a bit too far, but you kinda get the idea. Oftentimes, you see romance paired with a different genre like slice of life or comedy, and these work very well together like fat people and diet soda. But occasionally, you see it being paired with something a bit more unorthodox like the sports genre, and that can cause a bit of confusion for the viewers. Is it mainly sports? Is it mainly romance? Which is it? It's difficult to strike a good balance between the two, damn near impossible some would say. Or is it? Because I think I found an anime that does just that, and that anime is called Blue Box.
Taiki Inomata is a freshman who's like the Kobe Bryant of high school badminton.
Job's not finished.
He eats, sleeps, and breathes the sport. It's all he ever thinks about. At the start of the new school year, he wakes up early every morning to be first in the gym to get some extra practice. But no matter how early he goes, he's always second to her. Chinatsu Kano is the second year ace to the girls basketball team, and after seeing her in the gym every single morning, working on her craft with razor sharp focus, he realizes something. He likes her. But reality sinks in once Taiki's friend points out that Chinatsu is way out of his league. She's great at basketball, super nice to everybody, and even makes appearances in the local newspaper and magazines. Where on the other hand, Taiki isn't anywhere near her level in terms of badminton and has yet to achieve anything significant. The only thing on his list of accolades is his attendance awards, and they hand those out to just about anybody. But despite hearing how big the gap between their worlds are, Taiki isn't really bothered by it. In fact, he takes that as a challenge and uses it as motivation to work harder on his badminton skills, even going so far as to make it a goal to hold his confession to her until he reaches her level, and that means making it all the way to nationals. But life is often a cruel and unforgiving mistress, and Taiki realizes this when he finds out from his mom that Chinatsu and her family are moving overseas, which would also mean Chinatsu's goal to make nationals would remain just that, a goal. After hearing this, Taiki sprints to the gym to see Chinatsu and give her a pep talk about not giving up on her dreams, but it turns out, she isn't moving away, it's just her family. She's staying put cause ball is life, and she wants to go to nationals with her team. Phew, glad that got solved. But wait, where does she stay? It turns out, Taiki and Chinatsu's mom used to be basketball teammates in high school, so she's staying with them for the foreseeable future.
Now this sounds like every cliche romance anime ever written, that's because it kinda is. The romance is a slow burn, and the main girl's personality might be more plain than a British family's cookout, but don't let that deter you from watching Blue Box, because the overused tropes don't take away from how good the story really is. In fact, the show rides this very thin line of acceptability because the author subverted everyone's expectations and never used the same jokes that people have seen a million times. Like the classic guy accidentally walks in on girl changing trope. That easily could have happened since they live under the same roof, but instead, the author flipped the situation and had Chinatsu catch Taiki wearing his shirt inside out. Her subsequent reaction to him flipping it back out creates a lot of romantic tension between them, and it's the perfect example of how to use tropes effectively. There are also misunderstandings between characters, but the anime approaches that in a very mature and realistic way. The confusions get cleared up easily by having the characters actually talk to each other about them instead of overthinking to the point where the issues get blown out of proportion like other anime. Rent a girlfriend. And that's a huge breath of fresh air coming from the romance genre. Speaking of romance, Blue Box shows it in a more slow and subtle way where it relies on the little moments of vulnerability and connection. The morning practices, a few glances here and there at school, a walk home together, or the mutual understanding of working towards a goal. These little moments are seamlessly woven into the story, and it's a great juxtaposition in between their training and competitions. It helps us really understand and connect with the characters, their train of thoughts, and subsequent emotions. And that's how I knew this anime was on another level. Other shows would have taken the more in-your-face exaggerated approach where they would have the girl go from this to the girl screaming after the guy pulls out one of these. Blue Box is different though. It doesn't need any artificial drama fabricated from thin air or made up issues for the hell of it, because that's where the sports aspects takes over. The author didn't write problems just to have problems in the story, she wrote them to have a specific purpose, to bring out the realistic part of sports. You know, the stuff that a lot of anime don't even bother to touch upon. Like the amount of stress put on athletes to perform, the mounting pressure from everyone's expectations, the doubt that starts clouding your thoughts, the nerves on the day you need to desperately perform, or that oh shit feeling you get when you think you're injured. All these emotions and feelings are on full display, but they integrate it so well that you sometimes forget that this is a romance and not a drama. It makes the anime very cute and wholesome and... Wait, what is that? Are those premarital ankle bracelets? In my Christian anime? Oh hell no.
I'm gonna eat your ass.
Now, I and a lot of other people think this anime is a great combination of romance and sports, but there are others who think the opposite. Blue Box is like if someone threw a love story into a sports anime blender and forgot to hit mix. If you're a sports anime fan, forget about it, because it's almost non-existent here. I think what a lot of people expected was something like Haikyuu levels of hype with more romance, but the thing about Blue Box is that their particular sports were never the main focus. It was merely a tool for the story to progress the romance and not the other way around like other sports anime. And you can tell this is the case because you could replace basketball and badminton with any other sport and the story could be told the exact same way. They're kinda just the sports that the characters play, and the show never dives deep into the nitty gritty details of either. But they make up for it by writing some of the most realistic characters in romance. Every one of them has their own personality, their own little quirk or trait that defines them. We'll talk about the main three. Chinatsu is the second-year star basketball player that's super nice to everybody off the court. But on the court, she'll fucking cross you up, snap your ankles, and have the opposing coach tell his team,
You know, I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight.
She diligently trains and tries to use every opportunity she can to sneak some extra training sessions in because she has her eyes dead set on nationals this year. She's been holding on to that bitter feeling of defeat right at the finish line ever since last year when her team just barely missed it by one match. Hina is the first-year rhythmic gymnastics genius who's like the Simone Biles of the school. She's Taiki's childhood friend who she loves to joke around with, but when it comes to her training, it's all business. Since her dad was a high-level gymnast, she's expected to take on his mantle and automatically be good at it. They're like LeBron and Bronny for those that watch the NBA. You know how that's going so far.
Ronnie, shoot it!
Stay your ass off that PlayStation tonight. Oh, come on, Dad. I gave it all I had. I hope I'm not grounded for too long.
And Taiki is the first-year badminton player that won the obligatory attendance award. Even though he doesn't have many accolades under his belt, he's actually really good for a freshman. But being really good won't cut it when it comes to qualifying for nationals, so he works his ass off day in and day out to try and improve, becoming obsessed with it. What he really wants though is to confess to Chinatsu. I kinda like that that's his real end goal and not to be the #1 badminton player in all of Japan or something extreme like that, because doing something to get a girl's attention is so relatable, especially for a teenage boy like him. I could see myself relating to all the characters in one way or another though. Chinatsu's bitter feelings of defeat and the pressure put on Hina to perform well are two things most people have faced in their lives, and these were so excellently portrayed that I thought I was the one with teenage angst. It really drives the idea that these characters are just normal high school kids with lives outside of their respective sports and not genetically modified Olympic level athletes in a high schooler's body. They're more grounded in reality, and I appreciate that these characters are humble even though they dream big. It really reminds me of my time as a teenager when I felt like the world was my oyster, where I felt like I could do anything. And then I went to college and realized I wasn't shit.
I just thought you were really cute, and I want to know if I could get your number.
Now, it would be a complete understatement to say that the animation is carrying the series because the whole production of Blue Box is immaculate. From the perfect background music to the fluid animation to the brilliant art, the show is just beautiful to say the least. The small details just pop out at you, and it's the little things that make this show look amazing. It certainly looks better than that other blue anime airing right now. In the anime, we get to see the characters focus on becoming the best versions of themselves through hard work, determination, and dedication, while struggling with doubt, fear, and the weight of pressure from expectations. Blue Box reminds us of the joys and pains of being in that adolescent stage in our lives where the world was a much simpler place. Some say the romance in the story is generic and vanilla, but sometimes you don't need all those fancy toppings or flavors or anything to spice it up. Sometimes plain old vanilla is the best, and this show executes it to a T. This series is becoming the gold standard of romance anime, and I hope in the future we get more romance shows that are as well written as Blue Box. I give it a 4 out of 10. I still can't forgive him for wearing premarital ankle bracelets.
I'll kill you.